politics in the United States of America. The left has gotten really left, and the right has gotten really right. Everyone's towing the line, and we're getting nowhere. Fast. This is the Rational American. The Rational American. Common sense has gone out the window, and our passion is to open eyes in hopes that people will take a rational look at what America is actually becoming. Put your feelings aside and let's get real. This is the Rational American, and this is your host, Steve Oatley.
Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is live. I was actually going to record it, and I ran out of time doing stuff. Someone said, cut that intro by 10 minutes and show wouldn't go that fast. The intro is only 3 minutes and 30-something seconds long, but whatever. There's always one. Anyway, welcome to the show. Today is September 12th. It is 8:03 p.m., and you guys know what day it is. It's Monday, which means we do our mass shooting report. Now, for anyone just tuning in or just, starting this live stream now and you're curious what a mass shooting report is, well, every single week in America, we have a ton of mass shootings, right? And you know that mainstream media talks about it all the time, the massive amounts of shootings that take place every day, right? You know, all these crazy white guys with AR-15s that go into schools and shoot up people. But in all reality, that's not the truth. There are many, many mass shootings every week. In fact, we're starting to now average more mass shootings than we even did 3 or 4 months ago. And we're going to continue this pace where people are using guns to commit acts of violence that nobody really talks about in mainstream media. They're not the typical mass shootings. They're not a child buying an AR-15 legally from a gun owner when he's 18 years old and walking into a school or a mall or a parade. No, those aren't the majority of the mass shootings that happen every single day and claim the lives of dozens and dozens of people every week. No, these are the inner city gang violence and mass shootings that mainstream media chooses to ignore. The majority of the shooters are not white, and the majority of, actually, I would hazard a guess and say over 90% of the victims, the homicide victims, and the people that are injured by these shootings are also minorities. And mainstream media, for some reason, I guess, being, truthful doesn't sell. They have to be I almost said cliche, but it's not even cliche. What would it be? Just, bigoted and racist to not talk about the lives, which is kind of crazy because in 2020, we marched up and down the streets chanting Black Lives Matter. But when black people are killed at record numbers in Chicago and New York and Seattle and Los Angeles and Denver and virtually all of every city across the United States at record numbers, the mainstream media and those very same people that march down the streets can't seem to find any place in their heart to even give two shits about it. So that's what we do. We end up talking about the mass shootings that nobody else does. Why? Because, we have to. Because if we are not reporting on these mass shootings, then the victims are not getting any time by the media. The ones who commit the crimes, the murderers, the mass shooters are not getting any attention in the media. And I believe they should. Now, I'm not trying to project and make them look better or worse than they already are. No, what I'm trying to do is just educate one person. If even one of you says, holy cow, I can't believe that we've had that many mass shootings this week, then my job is done. And that is the reason why I do it. And so without further ado, this is the mass shooting report. This week has been like no other in terms of how many mass shootings we've had. Because we've had a dramatic amount, 22 mass shootings, 26 people dead, 80 people injured. It's insane. This is one of the craziest weeks in terms of mass shootings than I think I've ever covered. 26 people dead, 80 people injured in a total of 22 mass shootings. You likely will not see those numbers any other week. Hopefully not. Hopefully we're not setting a trend. But what we do is we go through them all one by one, and that's what we're about to do. So hopefully you guys have your, hopefully, it was calling me at 8 o'clock at night. Hopefully you guys have your seatbelts fastened because this is real news. Anyway, let's jump into this. The first mass shooting takes place in Charleston, South Carolina, where 5 people were injured in a shooting incident in downtown Charleston. This was last Sunday, mind you. The shooting occurred near King and Morris Streets around 12:55 a.m., Charleston PD said in an updated news release that morning. 5 adult victims were wounded during the incident, are being treated at local hospitals for injuries that are non-life-threatening, according to the Charleston PD. So far, 2 people have been arrested and charged with firearm violations. One of the 2 suspects, a 20-year-old named Tyvon Davis. The other is a 16-year-old juvenile. They don't name the juveniles. Which, and keep in mind, if you guys watch my show, you know that I believe they should name the juveniles as well as their parents. Yes, I go a little bit further than most people because I think parents whose 16-year-olds are going out and killing other people are not doing their job as parents and therefore should be scrutinized for the world to see. Anyway, 6 people were initially thought to have been injured by gunfire, but police say that 6th person fell and suffered a scrape, not a gunshot wound, so they're not classified as this shooting. But that wasn't the only shooting on Sunday. No. There were quite a lot. Chicago had a city of violence last week. 55 shot, 11 fatally over Labor Day weekend. Now, mainstream media did talk about that. But 55 people were shot, 11 fatally over Labor Day weekend in Chicago. The shootings include an attack on 4 young men in the South Chicago neighborhood Sunday night in the 8600 block of South Kingston Avenue. David Duval Jr., 20, and 18-year-old Jason Mundo were gunned down while sitting in front of a home. 2 others were shot there. So, and that's just one of the shootings that took place. But obviously you could see this is a very long article just full of all the details of all the other shootings that took place in Chicago that day. But that wasn't it. Sunday, 2 boys, 2 men shot during a sporting event at Broward High School. This was Monday Night Update. Broward Sheriff's Office restated the number of people shot and the number of minors involved. A Sunday night shooting at Lauderdale Lakes Boyd Anderson High School sent 2 boys and 2 men to the hospital, the sheriff said. Shooting happened around 8:30 p.m. during a sporting event at the school. All of the injuries were believed to be non-life-threatening, so that is good. And they don't have any suspect, obviously, and this is one commonality you're going to see as we dive through these. They don't provide suspect information. Very rarely. I haven't read through all of these, so I'm not even sure if any of them do. Last week, out of 15, only 1 of them identified a suspect by race or clothing or possible motive or anything. They tend not to show what would be, they tend not to show what you need to know in order to figure out who the person is that's shooting, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, in Norfolk, Virginia, 2 people were killed and 5 others were injured by gunfire after a fight broke out at a party in Norfolk, Virginia. This was also Sunday. When police responded to a house near Old Dominion University around midnight, they found 4 women and 3 men with gunshot wounds. Zabre Miller and Angela McKnight, 19, later died at a hospital. Now, this was interesting, or not interesting. I don't believe that they've caught any suspects either. I think one of the people that were killed was several of them were college students as well, but I don't believe all of them. They don't have any suspects in custody. They believe that it was a fight. It says these are, and what was frustrating about these things right now, people get into a disagreement, they pull a gun, and then they shoot each other, and in the process of doing so, they shoot innocent people who end up dying. That's a common thing too. Because when we were kids, we used to fight with our fists because we weren't cowards. These groups of kids that are out there now, what do they pull guns. They don't pull knives. They don't pull sticks or rocks or brass knuckles or anything like that. No, they pull guns and permanently injure or maim or kill their victim or their intended target. Plus, usually, because they don't even know how to shoot, they shoot all crooked and stuff. So they end up killing all these innocent civilians as well. But don't worry, there's quite a few more to get through. Now, the St. Paul, you may have seen me tweet about this on Friday night because the suspect, Antonio Dupree Wright of Minneapolis, was captured as it results to the shooter. He was a gang member, and apparently this house was a house that had a lot of issues going on for some time. You're not going to see him in the media anymore because, again, it doesn't fit the definition it fits the definition of a mass shooting, but it doesn't check off the media check boxes. And I talked about this quite often, and I'll do it again just so everyone understands. With the media, when they are interested in reporting the truth, which is never, when they report a mass shooting, it has to check off these boxes. One, and this is what has to happen. Okay, the shooter usually has to be white. They have to use a long gun. Even white kids that go out and shoot people with handguns in cities are not even making mainstream media, but for some reason nobody else is. It has to be a white shooter. It has to be with an AR-15, and the majority of the victims have to be white, or there has to be some racial element to it as well. That means mainstream media will cover it. Mainstream media will not cover it if the shooter's not white, if the gun is not legal, if the victims are black. And I don't understand why, except to say they are racist. In mainstream media, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, every single news outlet out there that refuses to report about our massive amount of mass shootings every single month, every single week, every single day in America, every news outlet that doesn't feature this as their headline news story every hour, in my book, is racist, because there's no other reason why you wouldn't document this. You could argue that MSNBC doesn't want to broadcast that the main threat on Americans right now is other Americans. It's not white supremacists or anything like that, because, white supremacists don't even have a 1 in 5 chance of getting shot in their life. A black person does, which is incredibly crazy. Over 50% of all homicides in the United States are caused by or at the hands of a group that's 13% of the population, but yet the main focus, and I'm not saying that black people are bad or anything like that. No, what I'm saying is that the victims, I don't even care about the offenders as much as I care about the victims of these crimes. The victims need to have their photos on television. The victims need they deserve it. They are Americans that are being gunned down on city streets, and mainstream media couldn't give two shits. They just don't. They don't care. And it's frustrating as hell to me. If you can't tell, because every single week we do this. Every single week we talk about the mass shootings every single week. And nothing changes. Yes, we get a couple hundred views and then it goes away and everyone fades off. And all of you guys go back to your everyday, normal way of thinking. And I don't fault you for it. But why isn't Fox News talking about this? Why isn't CNN talking about it? And keep in mind, in the beginning of the year, they did. You may remember, they did write down all the mass shootings. They started doing the breakdowns like we used to do. They started doing that, but now we have too many. I wear too many hats here. I can't spend, 4 hours putting down every single document or every single detail about all these mass shootings. Mainstream media just chooses to ignore it. Instead, what are they doing? They're showing the Queen Elizabeth funeral for hours and hours and hours every single day, as if that's more important than what's happening in American streets every single day. I don't think I'll ever understand it. And if you can't tell, I'm very frustrated by it, because I see all these and I wanted to do something different than I normally did. I just didn't have the time. I wanted to record this segment, show the victims, what victims I can find. But that's the problem, is the mainstream, even local news, even all these news articles that we're showing here, all of these news articles, they don't even show the victims. Half the time, they won't even say who the victims are. They just won't, because it just doesn't matter to them. The victims do not matter to them. And for the life of me, I just don't get it. I don't understand why other people don't, aren't up in arms about it. I don't know why Black Lives Matter isn't marching up and down the street demanding accountability from mainstream media to actually report the truth. I really don't. Because do they believe that these people that are being killed every single day across America do not deserve the recognition of being a victim of gun violence? Now, the majority of these victims are not, killed by a legal gun owner or a legal gun. No, these are illegally acquired weapons that have been modified or serial numbers ripped off or whatever the case. And the majority of these guns are used previously in other murders. It doesn't fit the narrative. Mainstream media is not going to care about it. They're not going to report on it. And unfortunately, you guys have heard me say this forever. Do you know what I mean? You guys have all heard me say this too. I guess I'm mainly ranting for the one or two new viewers that hasn't caught a Mass Shooting Monday report, because it's disgusting. Anyway, St. Paul, 3 people were killed, 2 others were injured. When police arrived on scene to reports of gunfire, they found 2 people that were suffering non-life-threatening injuries, or I think they were critical injuries, but they didn't die. And they said, hey, more people are shot inside. They went inside and discovered the bodies of, I believe, 2 women and a man that were dead inside. And then they captured this guy who apparently was a gangbanger and shouldn't have been out in the first place. All the same story that we always hear. He shouldn't have been out. He had a long criminal record, blah, blah, blah. They knew he was a drug dealer. They knew he was a gang dealer. And it doesn't matter. You know, the mainstream media, the second they put out the photo, they didn't talk about it. Actually, I don't even know. Did any mainstream media outlets cover the fact that these people were killed? Probably not, because this house, this address received at least 17 calls in the previous 12 months to that house for disturbances or domestic assault or something. So it was already a problematic house. They're not going to talk about it. These victims didn't matter to mainstream media. Well, they matter to me because they're Americans. And unlike what the narrative that CNN and MSNBC and NBC News feeds everybody, even though I may align with the right, I do give a shit about every single American out there, whether you align with the right or left. It's really a novel concept. I know a lot of people are so focused on the fact that they need to villainize all Republicans or all conservatives or all Trump supporters, when the majority of the Trump supporters and Americans and conservatives and Republicans think like me in terms of this, in terms of gun crime. Let's actually address the gun crime and then we could fix it. But no. They want to qualify all your gun purchases now with special codes so they can identify what gun you bought and where. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, I went way off there, but whatever. That's what I do a lot. Sorry about that. Anyway, St. Louis, Missouri, police are investigating a quadruple shooting in North St. Louis City Monday evening. The shooting happened in the 4400 block of Redbud Avenue around 6:01. 2 men were shooting from a car, apparently. A 65-year-old man was found lying on the ground with a gunshot wound to his torso. He was rushed to the hospital. Officers were also dispatched to another shooting near Blair and Salisbury, where they found a 44-year-old man shot. A 22-year-old man and a 25-year-old man arrived at the hospital for treatment of gunshot wounds. All victims are in stable condition. No further information has been revealed. Now, keep in mind, this is Monday. No further information has been revealed. No suspect, only that there are 2 people shooting from a car. They didn't even go and describe the car. They didn't put a surveillance photo of a Ring camera or something so you can even identify this person. They don't want you to know. They just, and for anyone that disputes that, they clearly don't want you to know. That's why there's no suspect information available. No motive is known for the shooting outside. 2 people in a car started shooting a bunch of random people. It doesn't matter to them. These lives do not matter to them. East Cleveland, a 30-year-old Cleveland man was killed and at least 10 others were injured in a shooting outside of a bar early Monday morning. East Cleveland police said at 2:53 a.m. they received multiple calls regarding shots fired outside the Just Us Lounge in Delhi in the 13900 block of Elucid Ave. When officers arrived, several victims were transported to various hospitals. Tyran Lewis died from his injuries at University Hospital. There's no information on any other victims. No suspect information is available. No motive is known for the shooting because, well, frankly, they don't care about any of these victims. Look at the media outlets. I guarantee, watch. Let's just go and see some. So they wrote maybe 200 words about a mass shooting with 10 people injured and 1 person killed. Let's just go on their main page right now. Let's see this article. Let's see. Let's just look at this. Cleveland police deputy retires. Look at this article. This is even longer than a mass shooting. So there's just one. Let's go to this one. A woman survived a car accident. That's longer than the last one. Let's go. Will downtown workers ever respond? Look at this long ass article. All of these articles. You're telling me that whether or not people will return to work from a fake lockdown is more important than the lives of that 20-year-old or 18-year-old or however old he was that died and the 10 other victims that were shot that day. All of those are more important. All of those are more important. This, whether or not employees are going to be at home, it's just insane. It's insane. Anyway, here's another one. This was in Hartwell, Georgia, I believe it was. A shooting in Hartwell leaves 2 people dead and 2 others injured, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, who was called in by Hartwell police to investigate. The incident happened around 2:15 a.m. Monday in the parking lot of Jack's Bar and Grill in Anderson Highway 29. When officers arrived on scene, they located at least 3 shooting victims. One of the victims, identified by Hart County Coroner Mike Adams, is a 39-year-old named Rabirius Thornton of Hartwell, Georgia. He was pronounced, I'm like really pissed off right now if you can't tell. He was pronounced dead shortly after the shooting. According to Adams, the second victim, a 25-year-old named Joseph Johnson of Cannon, Georgia, died Monday afternoon at the medical center in South Carolina. A third victim was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. That person's condition is unknown. A fourth victim went to the hospital on their own accord. They've been treated and released. Neither of the 2 survivors' names have been released. Well, yes, they have now. Oh, no, not the victims who've been released. The GBI said several vehicles were also hit by multiple rounds. No suspects have been identified. No motive is known for the shooting. They don't even give a description on whether a car, they say, cars were involved. No information whatsoever. Why? Because these lives didn't matter to the media. They just didn't matter. Philadelphia, where lives just don't matter. A man and a woman are dead after gunfire erupted early Monday morning in the hunting park section of Philadelphia. And no, it's not like meaning you go out hunting like for deer. No, this is just the name of the town or the neighborhood. 4 other victims, including a teenager, were wounded. The victims are among more than 30 people who have been shot Labor Day weekend in Philadelphia alone. The gunfire erupted just before 1 a.m. in the 700 block of West Russell Street. There was a large number of spent shell casings, which indicate a number of shots were fired. Police are still working to figure out who opened fire and why. No arrests have been made. No suspects have been identified. And again, just like every single other article, no suspect information is available. You're telling me that not one single witness gave even a description of a guy? It was a one-armed man wearing a trench coat. No, not even a single description. And here's the thing. The police likely did get a description, and they likely do have a description, but the police departments are no longer actually putting suspect information in. In news articles, even when you have a police press release where they say, okay, the suspect information is this, the majority of these news outlets are literally cutting that information out. Like, for example, there was a shooting in D.C. a couple of weeks ago, right? I think it was a shooting in D.C. or somewhere, and they were looking for a juvenile with dreadlocks, a black male with dreadlocks. Instead, the police press release said they were looking for a black male with dreadlocks, a juvenile 16-year-old with dreadlocks. Mainstream media took that article, chopped off the fact that he was a black dude, cut that out, and said they're looking for a 16-year-old with dreadlocks. Now, keep in mind, maybe I've met white kids that have dreadlocks, it just pisses me off because it's just another show that mainstream media is just full of it. They're just full of it. And nobody holds them to account because what are you supposed to do? Just complain? They don't respond. Here's another mass shooting. Kansas City, Missouri. Police are investigating a deadly quadruple shooting at a home Monday night. Police were called to 73rd and Manchester Avenue around 10:45 p.m. Monday. When they arrived, they found 3 people shot. 2 of the victims died at the scene. A third was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. A 4th victim was driven to the hospital and is also expected to survive. Police say the shooting took place during a house party. There's no suspect information available at the time. No motive is known for the shooting. And again, no suspect information was provided at all. No descriptions, anything like that. Here's one. Now you guys all heard about this. Everybody heard about this mass shooting, right? The crazed guy that was running around in downtown Memphis, randomly assassinating people. It started with a shooting around 2:12 something when he executed some guy in a driveway, and then he kind of just lost his mind and shot a bunch of people. Well, you remember this guy. because mainstream media talked about this too. There was a gunman on the loose. Hell, I even put his video on Twitter and got banned for Twitter for 12 hours for posting the video while he was actively being sought after by police because he was going into, like, let's just say, auto zones and assassinating people. They captured that guy. They captured him alive. They stopped talking about it. They stopped talking about, what about the 3 people he killed and the 3 people that were in critical condition? Those victims do not matter. National media talked about it just for a second, and then all of a sudden they just stopped talking about it. Why? Do those lives no longer matter? You're telling me that everyone cares more about Queen Elizabeth dying and watching the Scottish guys dance on top of the casket. That's more important than talking about Americans who are dying in city streets. And we're not even getting into all the fentanyl overdoses and everything else, or the Americans that are being killed by DWI suspects, or the massive amount of shootings that happen each and every single day that don't qualify as mass shootings. And we could talk about that in a second too, because you think it's crazy that 26 people died and 80 others were injured in 22 mass shootings over a week. Go try to look up the last 72 hours of just gun violence and see how many victims are, how many people are killed that aren't mass shootings. Every single day across America, hundreds of people are losing their lives or being critically wounded by people with guns. And it's not legal gun owners. It's just simply not. And yet the mainstream media and all these these leftist politicians are trying to say, well, we have to restrict legal guns in order to take illegal guns off of the street, which doesn't make any sense because the people that are committing the crimes, over 60% of them, are barred from owning guns. So removing the legal limitations or making it harder for someone to purchase a gun is not going to make it easy or harder for the illegal gun owners that are going out there buying guns illegally to get the gun, because they're already doing it illegally. They're already committing a crime. It's like saying, hey, listen, because some people get DWIs, we are going to ban everybody from drinking. Or because some people get DWIs, we are going to take away all your licenses. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? And why is it only certain things that matter? Why is it only certain things that matter to some people? Because here's another interesting statistic for anyone that gives a shit. Many of you may or may not know the highest insurance rate for, age, the highest insurance age, the people that are charged the most are teenage drivers, right? 16 to 22 years old. In fact, more people die at the hands of 16-year-olds behind the wheel than all mass shootings every single year. What? That's crazy, right? Because you would think that they would be like, okay, 16-year-olds aren't mature enough to be behind the wheel. That age group, 16 to 18-year-olds, aren't mature enough to be behind the wheel. 18 to 22-year-olds still have a high likelihood of getting in a car accident, running over a bicyclist, hitting an old lady while she walks across the street because they don't know how to drive. You know what our government does instead? They put them behind the wheels of commercial tractor trailers. Yeah, that just happened with the Drive Safe Act that was passed as part of the infrastructure bill. They put 18-year-olds behind the wheel of commercial motor vehicles traveling cross country. Doesn't make any sense. The way the government does some things, the way the government does most things doesn't make any sense. And it's likely not going to. But maybe we should just ban cars in general, right? Because you got DW, people that drink and drive that are killing people. You got people fall asleep, people that have medical emergencies that fall asleep and crash your car. And now you have teenagers that are going out and killing people at record numbers. Maybe we should just ban it, right? But no, they won't do that because the car insurance, all those car insurance companies and all the legal, people that are doing that. Isn't it weird that some of the 2 bill sponsors that sponsored the Drive Safe Act, both of them are either married or have close connections to lawyers that work and go after semi-trucks for fatal accidents. Isn't that weird? Conflict of interest much, but it doesn't matter. That's just, let's be honest. The government doesn't care about saving lives. The only thing the government cares about is regulating lives. So if they feel like, my thing is, I don't even, I'm not a big fan of regulations in general, right? But if you're going to regulate, do it so it actually helps people. That's the thing that's the craziest. They want to go and regulate ammo. Steven Crowder made a good point today where he was talking about active shooters and mass shootings. 100% of mass shootings end because of a good guy with a gun. Even the ones where they kill himself, because that, at some point the guy realized that he was killed, even though he was a bad guy. He became a good guy when he took out himself because he was the bad guy. 100% of mass shootings are stopped by a good guy with a gun all the time, whether it's a law enforcement, whether the guy surrenders, whether the cops kill him or he kills himself. Go figure that one out. And they want to remove guns and remove the making so they're not accessible, because we have one or two mass shootings where people are using AR-15s to go and commit a crime, legally owned guns, but they're not focused on all the other ones. More people died this week at the hands of illegal gun owners than of any other mass shooting that we've had recently. But they don't care. It doesn't fit their agenda. It doesn't fit. And the problem is that all of this is publicly known. Every single thing is publicly known. These politicians could be talking about this every day. And in fact, any politician that isn't talking about this in every single press conference, we always see during the Senate floor stuff and the House floor, they go and be like, well, Coach so-and-so from so-and-so high school retired today. And they'll take 10 minutes to talk about that and hold up a big photo, but they won't talk about the victims that die every single day. The victims that died here in Tennessee, or the victims that died in St. Louis or Philly or any of the other places that we've already talked about. I'm not even halfway through this mass shooting report. Now you understand why I have such a hard time doing this damn job, because it's frustrating. It's almost like I do it for no reason. It's frustrating, but I'll keep going. There's another one. In downtown, 4 people were shot. There's no articles even on this one. This is just, local Twitter people saying it. That was in LA. And then there's another mass shooting. Again, didn't even dignify an article. This is Minneapolis, where they've had 70 plus mass shootings already this year. This was posted to Facebook. And actually, here's a press release, I believe, by the police department. September 11th in Minneapolis, police have been informed that a 34-year-old male initially shot on September 9th, died at the hospital on Saturday, September 10th. The male has been identified as Jerry Leonard Calhoun. On September 9th, just before midnight, officers from the 4th Precinct responded to the area near 328 West Broadway Avenue, report of a shooting. Officers located Calhoun unconscious with potentially life-threatening gunshot wounds. Officers rendered medical aid until relieved by fire and EMS. He was transported to the ambulance, and then he died on September 7th. In addition, on September 9th, while officers were at the scene of that 328 West Broadway, 3 people arrived at North Memorial Medical Center in private vehicles. These include a second male in his 30s with apparent non-life-threatening gunshot wound, a 21-year-old pregnant female with potentially life-threatening gunshot wounds, and a 17-year-old pregnant female with non-life-threatening wounds. No suspect information, now, except that gunfire erupted outside of a bar, possibly fired from a vehicle. But no suspect information is available for this. No motive is known, nothing. They don't provide anything. And this is a police press release. They don't care. Nobody does. Here's another mass shooting in Baltimore. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner released autopsy results after 5 people were found dead inside a home. Police confirmed parents Marcus Edward Milligan and Tara Davina Ricker Milligan, 37, were found shot dead in the home in Hebron Court in Elkmont, Maryland. 3 of their children were also found deceased, 14, 11, and 8. The autopsies confirmed all 3 suspects died as gunshot wounds. Police said they received a 911 call saying 3 children and a woman had been shot and were dead. During a Friday press conference, officials confirmed at least 1 person was found in a detached garage, another on the first floor. So apparently this man killed his whole family. What a fucking scumbag. It's still a mass shooting. Still a shooting. A semi-automatic handgun was found near the man inside the home. I guess that's what they're trying to insinuate, although they don't say it in the article. It doesn't say like murder, suicide, or anything like that. I have a hard time reading when children are dying. So anyway, 4 men were shot in broad daylight Friday in New York City in the Bronx. The group was hanging out in the courtyard of the Pelham Parkway NY, so the New York City Housing Authority housing complex on Astor Place when the shots rang out around 4:50 p.m. There's a bunch of photos of all the NYPD. A 22-year-old man was shot in the left ankle. A 26-year-old man shot in the butt. A 28-year-old man was shot in the foot. They were taken to the Montefiore Medical Center where they were listed in stable condition. A fourth man, 29, was shot in the buttocks and went to Jacobi Medical Center on his own. He too suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The gunman fled on foot. No arrests were immediately made. No motive for the shooting. The shooting occurred blocks away from an apparent murder-suicide inside another Pelham Parkway Housing Authority building on Williamsbridge Road. Police found Christina Jones dead on the fifth floor hallway of the building just after midnight. Her 42-year-old boyfriend, who was not identified by police, shot her in the neck before he turned the gun on himself. But as you can see here with the actual mass shooting, they don't talk about anything. Gunman fled on foot. No arrests were immediately made. No description of the gunman. They don't provide any of that information. You know, New York City's got a camera on every single block. You're telling me they don't have video of this guy? How come that hasn't been released? We'll see where an elderly person is punched or knocked down on a subway in New York City, but we're not seeing where a person goes and shoots 5 or 6 people. That video is not being released on social media. They don't care. I tell you, they just don't care. Lexington, Kentucky, bunch of shootings. Only one mass shooting here, but there are a bunch of shootings, 9 people injured. Lexington Police Department is currently investigating multiple shootings that occurred throughout Saturday night and early Sunday morning. Officers responded to New Circle Road and Versailles Road at 8:30 p.m. Saturday night. 3 adult males were found suffering from gunshot wounds in a vehicle. Later, a 4th person showed up at the hospital with gunshot wounds. Police say this was related to the victims found on New Circle Road. One person reportedly does have life-threatening injuries there. A couple hours later, police responded to Short Street and Mill Street around 10:45 p.m. for reports of shots fired. Officers found a male and female victim with gunshot wounds. The male victim's injuries are reportedly life-threatening, and the female victim has non-life-threatening injuries. And then early Sunday morning, and then these are just solo shootings that happen in Lexington, not mass shootings. So, and there's so many. So we're just going to try to keep this going. In Plainfield, Indiana, 2 people have died and 2 others are in the hospital following a shooting Saturday night in the parking lot of an extended stay motel in Plainfield, Indiana. According to Plainfield Police Department, officers were dispatched around 9:25 p.m. Saturday to the White House Suites on Main Street in Plainfield on reports of shots fired. There, they located 4 male victims suffering from apparent gunshot wounds in the motel parking lot. One of the victims was pronounced dead on scene. Another victim was pronounced dead after being taken to the hospital. On Monday, police identified the 2 victims as 34-year-old Jose Rolando Castaneda Varela and 52-year-old Alfredo Garcia. The Plainfield Police Department also said the suspect information is expected to be released on Tuesday. The 2 injured 27-year-old males were transported to area Indianapolis hospitals, and both are expected to survive. No suspect information is available so far and why they didn't release. Here's the thing. You would think, like, if you actually want to stop violence, wouldn't you release all of your information right away? Like, at least suspect information or video footage or something like that. Wouldn't you release all of that information? And I understand that you would want to hold it close, close vest, close to the vest or whatever the saying is. You know what I mean? So you don't tip them off and they flee. But at what point do you actually have to do your job, cops? Like, at one point, do you have to release it? Your PIOs, that's what they were doing, right? Isn't that what their job is? Where they would go out and release the information in the press and say, hey, we're looking for a suspect that's been identified as this guy, or a suspect that looks this way, wearing a hoodie, wearing a rainbow unicorn, wings. I don't give a shit. Shouldn't they be actually reporting something? I hate watching these press conferences from the mass shootings where they get up there and they're like, yes, we have 17 victims and yeah, that's it. We'll be back. We'll hold another press briefing in 30 minutes. They know who the suspect is, or they know the suspect ID. Here's the thing. Everyone wants, like, New York had that see something, say something. It's kind of hard to see something and say something if you don't know what the fuck you're looking for. Didn't that work in New York City? Wasn't that, like, didn't they stop mass shootings? Didn't they stop, terrorist attacks because people saw something and said something? I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. For the life of me, there's just so many. And for the life of me is a new saying that I started saying today. I don't know why, But it's so fitting with everything because I am like at wit's end trying to understand certain things in life. You know what I mean? I figure at 38 years old, I should be able to figure out some things. I cannot figure out why these news outlets aren't. I tell you what, if I won the lottery right now, you know, if I won that $1 billion or whatever it was, I'll tell you what I do. I'd buy up every single one of these little news outlets and I'd be like, okay, we're getting back into the business of reporting the news. Who wants to be here? Who doesn't? And I'd fire everybody else and I'd just start. Because that's what needs to happen, apparently, is someone needs to get back in control of these newsrooms and say, do your fucking job, report it. And if the public doesn't like it, screw it. If they don't like that you're putting suspect information down, maybe you run op-eds telling people not to commit crimes so that way their information doesn't get out. Maybe when a juvenile does something, like I'll be honest, I watched this video on Twitter today and oh my gosh, I saw red. I almost, tweeted out, I'll pay a reward to figure out who these. It was one kid beating the crap out of another kid in school. Everyone else was making it a racist thing because the one kid was black that was beating up the white kid. I didn't see race. You know what I saw is a little kid whose parents didn't do their job, and that kid is sitting there beating the crap out of this little tiny kid because his parents failed him as parents. And my personal belief is that his parents, their photos should be on the front page of every single newspaper with their home address, where they work and everything. That's what should happen to parents that don't do their job as parents. We've gotten to this culture now where it's acceptable to be a shitty parent or a shitty person because there's not going to be any accountability for anything. All of these mass shooters, they don't even care. Because here's the thing, when a mass shooter is convicted or when a mass shooter is caught, what do? They get a light, lenient sentence because all these corrupt ass DAs, and the public doesn't even know who they are. Half the states now, you can't even on an employment application ask if a person is convicted of a crime because that disproportionately affects certain people. So you can't even know if they're criminals. You can't even know if you're hiring someone that is potentially a mass murderer. You know what? I got around that. I have guns in my store, right? I have guns in my office. I can't hire anyone that's a felon because I have guns all over the fucking place. That's my way of figuring out whether someone is legally there. Plus, I do background checks. And I don't know if it's legal here to ask someone if it's a felon or not. So I don't. What I say is, listen, I have guns all over my store. If you don't like it, you can't work here. Simple as that. And if you're barred for being here, you certainly shouldn't. But I don't understand it. I watched that video and I almost tweeted it out. And then I was like, no, I'm not even going to promote this stuff because it was some kid literally smashing this other kid around, beating him, smashed him head first into a concrete wall. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I was reading the comments and I'm seeing everyone else making this racial stuff that everyone does because everyone sees, oh, it's a black kid, so let's just say it's a black thing. No, it's not. It's a parental thing. It's a parental thing. My kid is a big, strong kid, just like me. He has the ability to throw people around all the time. You know what? He will never do that. Why? Because we taught him the right thing. He knows to defend himself, and that's it. People don't teach their kids that. Half the time, they're absentee parents. They don't even care about these children. I see it all the time. I see these kids that are running around acting like maniacs in stores and doing all this stuff, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Parents don't care about their kids anymore. I firmly believe, and I'll say this again for the ones in the back that can't listen or don't want to listen. I believe that if your kid fucks up, I don't care how single parent you are and you can't do this and some kids are crazy, because I've heard all those, even from longtime viewers, where they're like, you can't hold parents accountable. My kid was a bad kid, but even though he's a good kid, but he's a bad kid and I can't be held responsible for his things. I had to raise him. I was a single parent. I had to work. No. Your job isn't to work. Your job is to provide, take care of that child. That's your job. That's your job. You know what I mean? That's your job. When I was growing up, my dad was a single dad, right? We didn't see him much because he busted his ass and he worked his ass off. Granted, he's not the best guy, but he busted his ass and he worked for a long time, and he taught us values that I still maintain to this day. He taught me a lot of shit I forgot. And willfully forgot. But he taught us a lot of things just about being a dad, being a parent, and we were poor too. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm not, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Someone said, how are you going to provide if you don't work? What? Are you kidding? Right now with Biden, with all the handouts, you can go and get groceries out the ass for free. You don't even need any of that. You can get gas cards. You can get everything right now. Not saying that you should, but being a shitty parent you can't say, well, I have to provide for him and that's why I'm a shitty parent. No, because that still means you're a shitty parent. And if you don't like that and you disagree with me, then I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot more of me ranting like this because I'm too tired of like sissy footing around, right? And that's what I do on some of these topics. I can't talk about them. They're not socially acceptable. Mainstream media, blah, blah, blah. YouTube's going to kick me off. No more. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And it may be hard for some people to swallow, but these are my beliefs. This is why people watch this show. I believe you don't have to agree. You don't need to the only thing I want you to do is hear. That's the only thing I want people to do that watch this show is just listen. I don't want you to agree with me. I don't want you to even debate. I just want you to listen and understand a different perspective and understand that so many people are dying across America every single day and the majority of Americans don't care. The majority of my viewers are going to go after this show and just forget about it. They're going to turn on CSI or whatever the fuck's on a Monday night football, whatever, and they're going to forget about all this and they're not going to talk about it. There's never been a person that I didn't talk to in person. I did it a lot on Saturday. There hasn't been a person that I talked to that wasn't appalled when they learned the true amount of people that are killed every single week in America in these mass shootings. There's never been one. And I know a liberal woman that I talked to. She's like, no. And so I showed her all the sources. I showed her gunviolencearchive.org. And she called me a couple hours later and she's like, holy crap, everything you said was true. And I'm like, I know. Someone said, the fact is that 99% of the gun violence is all hood rat violence. And that's a fact. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter where the violence is because it's stupid ass comments like that, Double O'Neill, where you forget that those people, the hood rats, as you call them, they're still Americans. We forget in this country that we have a duty. You have a duty. I have a duty. Everyone that calls himself an American has a duty to care for your fellow American, to teach them, to guide them the right way. That is your thing, to listen to them. That is your duty as an American. So just being like, oh, it's all gang violence or it's all hood rat stuff, that's an excuse for your willful ignorance. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's an excuse. Stop making excuses and figure out what you and everybody else can do to try to curb this shit. And here's the thing. You could do something as easy as talking about it with other people. That's it. You can do it. It's something as easy as talking about. Take one of these mass shootings that I talked and talk to someone about it. Take our mass shooting report or some of the news articles that we write on Citizen Stringer and talk to people about it. Everyone's, oh, it's just hood rat stuff. Oh, they're drive-by. Oh, it's gang violence. These are Americans that are dying. I don't give a fuck if they're hood rats or if it's in a ghetto or if it's down the street from me. And you shouldn't either. It should infuriate you just as much. And I don't know, YouTube mods, anyone that wants to make any racial stuff, you guys don't need to give warnings or anything. Just get rid of them. Just ban them, time out, do whatever you got to do. Because I was going to lock up the chat today and I decided not to. But the reason I do is because like all the racial stuff, and I'm seeing it, but they nuke it pretty quick, but I'm seeing it. You are part of the problem. Anyway, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Police in New Mexico said people were injured Sunday night during a party. This is last night. In an early or Saturday into Sunday night. Around 2:30 a.m. yesterday morning, police alleged reports of gunfire near Paseo Feliz area. 5 people at a birthday party were shot. They all had non-life-threatening injuries, according to police. The victims were 2 adults and 3 teenagers taken to a local hospital, and the suspected shooter has not been arrested. Detectives are at the scene, and the shooting is still being investigated. But then they don't give any suspect information. No description, no clothing description, what kind of vehicle they flee in, anything. Nothing. Just like normal. Shouldn't surprise you, really. There's a mass shooting in Detroit yesterday morning around 3:12 a.m. 5th Precinct Scout 5-9 reported rapid gunfire near the shooting, East Warren and Dickerson. Arriving scouts, I don't know what the scouts mean. I'm reading like a quick thing here. Another report of a shooting victim showed up. So at least 3 people were shot in Detroit. Well, at least 4 people because one person self-transported to the hospital. There is at least one suspect driving a black Chrysler 300. And this was the dispatch audio for it.
If y'all head this way, hit
Go ahead, sir.
guys, we have rapid gunfire each of our locations.
I don't know whether that was playing, but it should have. It was just them saying. Also, mass shooting, Grand Rapids, Michigan early yesterday. Officers responded to Blue Ridge around 3:15 a.m. yesterday morning after hearing several gunshots nearby. After that, police saw a large group of people acting disorderly on a bridge. Officers then found 4 adults with non-life-threatening injuries. No suspect information available. No motive for the shooting. Nothing. Someone said, Steve, I'll say this. The photos I took miraculously disappeared. The blinked video footage did as well. Thank God for screenshots. I'm not even joking. I don't know. Just Dixie on Citizen Stringer. I don't know what you're talking about. What shooting you're talking about where you had photos. I must have missed something. Yeah, I mean that's. I think that's it. I don't know. I think that's all the mass shootings. There's probably been a couple now, and just to show you guys just some of the details here. Well, here's a couple of fast facts, just in case you care. So far this year, there have been. Oh wait, where's the right spreadsheet? So far this year, there have been 480 mass shootings across the United States, 487 people killed, 2,027 injured in mass shootings. Now, everyone says we have a white supremacist problem. Well, why under President Trump did we have less mass shootings, less fatal mass shootings, and less injuries as it relates to mass shootings? Because those are actual facts that nobody likes to talk about. I understand that, but in 2018, which was Trump's second year, there were a total, and we're not even through the year now, but there were a total of 336 mass shootings in the United States, which is 4 more shootings, 4 more victims, with leaving a total of 372 people dead, 1,330 injured. So far this year, we've got nearly 100 more fatal, over 100 more mass shootings, nearly 100 fatal shootings, and nearly 800 more people injured in mass shootings across the United States. But listen, they want to vilify conservatives and, the MAGA crowd and all that stuff, saying they're the biggest threat to America. Well, I dare say that the media is the biggest threat to America. And tying a close second to that is the federal government as it stands right now, as it's being led in this downward spiral of bullshit. And it's frustrating. It sucks doing this, but I'm going to show you one thing. Because I'm going to show you the last 72 hours of shootings, not even mass shootings. If this works, it looks like something's going on. It probably dropped the internet, just like it always does. Here, this is the last 72 hours. Let's just look at this. These are all of the shootings in the last 72 hours. There are 9 more, let's say probably more than 9. Yeah, there are. Last 72 hours. We only talk about mass shootings on this show. There were 14 pages. So what is this? Roughly 25 per page? Let's just do this one. Let's see. 1, 2. Well, yeah, I think it's 25 per page in the last 72. 13 times 25, whatever the hell that is. Do some math real quick, someone. Someone said, actually, 2019 had the highest amount of mass shootings since 2006. Wasn't Trump in office then? You are absolutely incorrect. The highest number of mass shootings was last year. and which is weird too. And I know where you're getting your information. Go to this website, G Abbott. Go to this website, and then when you look up past years, and then it will, when you do the report, it conveniently leaves out last year. Don't ask me why, but because we've been doing our mass shooting report every week, every week, we had all of the numbers from the latest incident. But again, those are just little facts that nobody really likes to hear. You know what I mean? You know, they're what you call facts. Hold on. Why isn't this page? So maybe Gun Violence Archive is down right now because it's not loading for me. G. Abbott can be liberal if he wants, but it doesn't mean he can lie or be mistaken. Let's just say that. Because that's what you do if you just make shit up. Someone said, I've never taken government assistance till COVID hit. I took unemployment for 6 months. It hurt me to do so. Yeah. I mean, some people have to do it. Some people don't. It's kind of your prerogative. I guess. So, and just because I'm, just because I like to prove people wrong. Hey, shithead. So here is just, now this is just a little bit of a fact for you. Gunviolencearchive.org. Mass shootings, 417 in 2019. 417. You see that number there? 220. What's this? 610. First year Biden administration, 691. We like facts here, G. Abbott. That's strike one for saying some fake fucking news in my chat. We only report the truth. That's the one thing that we don't do is we don't embellish, we don't lie. We report the truth. So when you said 2019 had the most mass shootings, you were completely, utterly false because, well, it didn't. And just so everyone could see the progression, because mass shootings go up every single year. Let's look here. 2014, mass shootings, 272. 2015, mass shootings, 336. 2016, mass shootings, 383. Mass shootings the first year of Donald Trump's presidency, they actually went down from the previous year. 348 mass shootings, but then they go way up, right? Actually, they went down again. 2018, 348 down to 336. And then they go up. 417 in 2019. 2020, where is it? 610 mass shootings right there. And then mass shootings, 2021, 691. 691. We like facts here, buddy. You know? We like facts. We don't like people that lie. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. When you make up something, right, that's not truthful, and you just make something and say, well, under Trump this. It's not true. That's like saying, oh, that Biden added more jobs than Trump. No, we didn't. We still haven't even surpassed the jobs that were lost because of COVID. Those are just facts that nobody likes to, say. But, and everyone can look it up. Everyone can look it up. You can all go to gunviolencearchive.org and look it up. That's the truth. That's the truth. G. Abbott is a female. I don't give a shit whether it's female or male. The person, whoever it is, and how do you know they like to go by female? God rides a Harley. Gra. Maybe they like to go by they, them pronouns. Maybe they want to be identified as a male. We're really respective here. I don't know. It's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff. Someone said, I think I say facts matter about 5 times a day. Well, they do. They truly do. Because here's the thing. And I'm glad that G Unit or whatever the name was of that person, because I've already forgotten. But I'm glad that she did that she was wrong. And then apparently abandoned the chat, unless she's been banned. I have no idea. But I'm glad that they did that because now they know. And now so many other people no, one, we don't report things unless we know the answers. Second thing is everybody has the ability to go do what I just did. Go to gunviolencearchive.org, gunviolencearchive.org. Everybody can do it. And you all should. You all should. You should be talking about mass shootings as they happen with other people. Go on social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. When a mass shooting occurs and everyone's like, oh, it's a Trump supporter, everything they normally say, you can provide them with facts while being respectful and enough to educate them. If you just attack them all the time and say, well, you're an idiot for saying that, you're not providing any context. You're not going to change their mind. And maybe with the G unit or whatever the hell that lady's name that was just in here, maybe I didn't change your mind, but you can't dispute the facts. Some people will choose to believe something other than facts, but they won't believe the facts. You can't dispute the facts, though. That's what they are. That's what they are. You know what else there is? I forgot to, I did post it on Facebook, and I gave all the people on Citizen Stringer earlier today, I gave them a little advance notice. We have a bunch of rally shirts that are available for sale, extremely discounted, and they're all printed here. So if you order one today, it'll ship tomorrow. And I'll show you. If you go to puretruthcoffee.com, click up at the top, there's a new clearance section where I'm going to put all these different shirts and different designs. But I use this incredibly handsome model myself. But the shirts were wrinkly, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Still great. You can see my chest there in the photos, but we've got plenty of these, but it's all limited sizes, but born free, still free. The Pure Truth coffee, it comes in green. The Let's Go Brandon shirt. There's only a couple of them. I think 3X, I have every shirt. 2X, some extra large, less large, not very many. But you got the socialism. It's a noun, a political and economic theory of social organization where everything sucks equally. Socialism distancing, shirt I'm wearing right now. Very cool. And I'm going to add more because I have some old shirts around here, some old PT News shirts and stuff like that. I'm going to put that in there. But go over to that website if you want. They're $15 each, okay? Plus whatever shipping option you choose. And we'll ship them. Like I said, you order today, I'll ship it tomorrow morning. First thing. Teresa, I saw your order. Thank you. But yeah, these are these are the facts, you know. And I'll be honest, the America 1776, I can print more of those because I have a ton of more designs ready for those. Everything else, I think I'm added the designs. Maybe the Born Free, Still Free. I think I may have a couple of those, but yeah. That's that. But and I switched over to this other system here because I didn't want to unpack all the cameras and all that. So I moved the Mac around. I don't have any of the cameras hooked up, so I can't show you. But I think it works better. This is a really good camera, to be completely honest. Will your store be open in November? Yeah, it's going to be open by October 1st. I almost just said, fuck it, and opened it tomorrow because I need to do something, you know. It's getting tight. We need to do something just to keep it on, you know, coffee and the boxes and all that. The mystery mugs. So I didn't have enough mugs. I ordered more today. I should have the mugs on Wednesday. I'm going to print them and try to get them all shipped out on Thursday. And then on Friday, I'm going to Youngstown, Ohio for the Trump rally. And many of you guys may see, that was the other thing that just ticked me off today. It was like a slap in the face. And I posted it on Twitter. And again, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, you should just do @Steve-Oatley and then you'll follow me. But I posted on Twitter. I got denied from the Save America rally again. I can't understand why. For the life of me, I really just don't get it. I don't understand why they're trying to, like why they complain about media all the time. They complain about the left media. They complain about fake news. And yet when you got someone that's trying to go in there and report honestly and accurately, they're just like, oh no, we're going to deny the press credentials. And mind you, the only thing I'd go in there to do is potentially be in the press pool while, some of the other politicians are speaking and get some sound bites from them. It wouldn't be to live stream. The quality wouldn't be that great anyway. But they don't. Someone said, ask for an explanation. You can't get one. The only thing I can say is that either one, they watch the show and just don't like how direct I am. Because here's the thing is, if a Republican does something stupid, we are still going to cover it. We are not, even though we're a conservative leaning news outlet, we are not a conservative news outlet. Does that make sense? We are an American news outlet. We will report on both things. If a Republican does something stupid, we're going to approach it the same way we're going to approach it when a Democrat does something stupid. And that's just the way it is. And maybe that's just why they're having enough, or they're just not letting me, get the press credentials. I couldn't tell you why, to be completely honest. I don't know, but it pisses me off so much, so much, Leonardo D's Orb said, I apologize. 2019 had the highest mass killings than any other year. Okay, so you're just full of shit and you made shit up, right? I mean, you did. You made shit up and it's cool. And it's funny that you said mass shootings versus mass killings or mass murders. Like, what are you trying to qualify it as? Mass killings? You mean like people driving their cars through crowds of people? Yeah. We're talking about shootings. So again, you were wrong. And I guess you got banned and now you came up with a stupid ass account, but whatever. It's sad, man. It's sad. It's sad in general. I went to the Freedom Fest rally this weekend and it was good. We met a lot of viewers, which was awesome. And I was super appreciative. I'm super bad with names, Chloe, and I'm gonna get the email. But I remember Chloe and I remember Martha, obviously, but I forgot the other two names, and so I'm gonna go and find them right now because you guys deserve a shout out. I don't know what email you sent it from, or what email. You emailed me, so I don't even know where it is now. I don't know. But yeah. Man. I don't know. But yeah, I know it's Chloe and Martha, and I forgot the other two, and I apologize. But they tremendously helped me a lot. A lot. And I'm very thankful. Someone said, I think you are to make some pocket t-shirts for people that smoke and businessmen that carry pins in their pocket. That's my thought. Yeah. It's a good thought. Eve Gray said, when am I getting my box? I mean, you got to be more specific. If it's a September mega box, you're getting it after we ship it on the 15th or so. And if it's an October box, you're not getting it until October 1st. If it's a coffee box, which I don't think we have any outstanding coffee boxes, you'll be getting it soon. But hopefully that answers your question. I've been going through all the orders. That's the one thing. I'm going to switch up everything. I think tomorrow I may actually do a day in the life, so you guys get to see, where I just record periodically through the day. It won't be live, but I'll record periodically through the day and maybe make a 15-minute video or so. You guys could see like exactly what I do. Like today I drove, I don't know, maybe 100 or so miles. No, it was way more than that. I drove to Woodstock and back here 3 different times, back home, even made it to the gym, although I couldn't really work out because I started talking to someone and then I ran out of time. But I think I'm going to do a day in the life and see if you like it. Someone said, any shirts for 3-arm people? I don't have 3 arms, just curious. Yeah, no, we don't have any 3-arm shirts. But maybe one day, Heck, I'd like t-shirts with kangaroo pockets for keys and stuff. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. Someday. Some of the other stuff, I had an interesting conversation this weekend too, and then I kind of carried it over with someone else today about Trump and about 2024 and whether or not I believe he'll run. And Optimus Prime said, why don't you live stream it? I watched another guy do it. It was great. Why didn't you live stream it? Why didn't I live stream the rally? Because I was told not to. They actually told people not to live stream during the event. That's what I was told by one of the people that were down there speaking. They asked them not to live stream, but I know I was told. I have the Facebook message where they said they didn't want me live streaming. All right. Happy birthday, Martha. It's got a text message saying it's your birthday. Happy birthday. But why didn't whoever just sent me that? Why didn't you send me all the rest of the names so I can give them a shout out? But I just lost what I was talking about for a second. Oh, so I was talking about Trump, right? So, and what do I think in 2024? And they're like, do you think he'll run in 2024? And my first response, without really even thinking, was, I hope not. And then I realized why I said that. Because I think Donald Trump right now in politics, he's probably the most powerful person in politics. It doesn't matter whether you're on the right or left. He's the most powerful person in politics. And I think his endorsement, like if he was, say Ron DeSantis was going to run and Donald Trump endorsed Ron DeSantis, it would be over. It would, that whoever he endorses is going to be president of the United States, especially if they, well, I take that back. If he follows what America wants, like the Dr. Oz endorsement, I seriously, like that made me question everything because I just don't like Dr. Oz. I don't trust him. I don't think he's a good candidate. That's my belief. I don't think he's a conservative, nor do I think he's a Republican, but that's who I am and what I believe. But do I think Dr. Oz is going to win? Yeah, you got Fetterman, who is a moron. Simple as that. And he's blaming, you can't attack Fetterman now. Have you noticed this with the media? You can't attack John Fetterman, who's running against Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania because, well, he had a stroke. And so every time someone attacks him because of how he speaks, because he speaks like he's mentally challenged, or anything else, or just his intellect, or the fact that he's like a younger, uglier version of Joe Biden, if that's even possible, in terms of brain activity, he turns it right back and says, oh, a doctor's, attacking us, or they're attacking my medical history or something. No, they're attacking your fitness for office, which is something that people have been doing for a long time. But I think if Donald Trump endorsed, like, say, Ron DeSantis, right? If Donald Trump endorsed Ron DeSantis, not only would he be the most powerful person in politics, that person who he endorses is going to win. Without a doubt, I think they would win it. And then he would be the most powerful person in politics with the person that he handpicked to be the president of the United States. And you wouldn't have all the baggage that you have being associated with Donald Trump, meaning Donald Trump, if he does run for president, he's going to win the presidency. And then the only thing we're going to have is our country will be great, but they're just going to go after everything else. They're going to go after him for J6. They're going to go after him for this. They're going to go after this for everything. You know what I mean? And so I was talking to someone at the Freedom Fest, and then I was talking to this guy today at the gym, and I'm like, can you imagine if Donald Trump just doesn't run, but endorses someone like Ron DeSantis or even Glenn Youngkin or somebody like that, either of those two. But if he throws that weight, that person is almost guaranteed to win, and yet Donald Trump still keeps his political power, and I don't know. It's I think it's going to be crazy. Someone said Trump did endorse DeSantis when he ran for governor last time. But I don't know if Donald Trump wouldn't run for president. I think he would almost want to run for president because, again, he likes to win. I think he would need someone in his ear being like, hey, you are still winning if the candidate that you endorse wins, you're winning. And you're maintaining, because look at his endorsements and all that stuff and his success rate in those endorsements. What is it? Like 98% of all of his endorsements have won their primary. That's crazy. But someone said something truthful. He said nothing could be predicted anymore. Sarah Chachman, whatever. Said, I actually hope Trump goes away. He's too divisive. I don't see. Trump is not divisive. Hold on. How come? Yeah. Wow. That's not good. Here. Let me just fix this size. So Steve on YouTube said, I hope Trump goes away. He's too divisive. I don't think he's too divisive. I think himself, he's divisive just because that's the only thing the media has. I said that for a long time. The only reason they could go after him politically, well, they couldn't go after him politically, so the only thing they could do is trash talk his Twitter and all that stuff. What would they do if he was reelected as president and still banned from Twitter? What would they do? They wouldn't have all that ammo. If you think about it, the majority of the reasons why the media jumped all over him was, one, they edited video clips to make him say, make it sound or appear that he was saying. Matter of fact, no, they made up shit about him anyway. So I would dare say, I think it may be bad for the country. But who knows? I mean, 2024, that's a long time away. Look at the amount of destruction that's occurred in just 19 months? In just 19 months. Calling everything enemy of the people, not divisive at all. What is he calling everything enemy of the people? Or are you talking about Donald Trump or Joe Biden, rather? Someone said calling everything enemy of the people, not divisive at all. So what else has he said? I think he said the Department of the Justice. And in fact, the Biden administration is kind of seeming like, and if you're trying to say that is divisive, no, that's actual fact. If you're saying that Donald Trump said that, but did he say someone was the enemy of the people? I don't remember. Susie Love said, if Trump becomes president again, cities are going to burn again. Cities are already burning now. They're doing it figuratively. You know what I mean? They're not actually ablaze. Someone else said Trump is ineligible. No, he's not. But that's fun. Brienne said they will do everything in their power to make sure he isn't reelected. That was on Citizen Stringer, yeah. Steve, that would be the best scenario, said David Perdue. DeSantis being endorsed by Trump. Who would be the VP? I have no idea. Katniss said, was that a threat against our cities? No, I'm not taking what that person said, Susie Love. She's stating a fact because they've already said it. Kamala Harris, I was thinking about that too, because Steven Crowder earlier, he played a clip from Kamala Harris where she said, the rioters in the street, the protesters, BLM protesters, they're not going to stop even after the election, which was patently false because they did. Almost as soon as the election was done, they stopped caring about Black lives. Isn't that weird? Right? But DeSantis prez, Trump vice prez, said Jamie Lemuel. That'll never happen. Donald Trump is like the alpha to all alphas. That'll never happen. That'll never, ever happen. Anyway, like I said before, we got a couple of minutes left in the show. Like I said before, we have a bunch of these designs. Some of these designs you may remember from some of the boxes. This design we've had for a long time because I designed that, so I've been making that all the time. But we've got these shirts, and then we've got all the other shirts. Flying High Coffee, we're currently out of. So there's a couple of orders where people had Flying High Coffee, but I can't ship it yet, obviously, because we're out. And yeah, I'm trying to do it like a big push. I need a lot of orders. You know what I mean? So you can order your October mega box right here, which is right at the top. You can see it there. It's $135. It comes with 3 custom tees, a custom hoodie, stickers, patches. It comes with limited edition drinkware, stickers, patches, 2 bags of the best darn coffee you ever had. Several boxes will include a special veteran-owned product. Actually, more than several. About half of them will include a veteran-owned product this time. In addition, one box will have the golden ticket entitling the recipient to a free TV. Also, each purchase will include a double entry into our Key West Trip for 2 giveaway on 10/1/22. So if you haven't ordered a box, or even if you have, order another one, please. Yeah, because just do it. I have a plan. I think I talked about it before, kind of doing like a print on demand thing in the store instead of keeping a bunch of stock. So I'm trying to put together everything for that. And I was going to finance a coffee machine. And then I started breaking down the numbers of it, because what I was thinking about doing in addition to doing the free coffee, the free cups of coffee that we're doing at the store, I wanted to do like $1, specialty coffee, like lattes and all that shit. Because we can have the ads printed on those drinkwares as well. So I was going to finance a commercial coffee maker. But then I started looking at all the numbers and stuff, and I have to buy their coffee too. It's part of the deal. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense. I could just buy the damn machine myself. Not right now, but I eventually could buy it. So that's kind of the plan. So I'm trying to generate as much revenue as I can through coffee sales, through the mega boxes, through t-shirts and stuff like that, and go. I am going to be in Youngstown, Ohio on Saturday. I'll be outside the Trump rally. I'm not going to go in. I'm going to have camera equipment and stuff with me. I don't know whether I'm bringing stuff. Maybe coffee, but I'm not even going to have that much coffee because like the Awake Not Woke, we pretty much sold out of. So I got to order more. I didn't order it today because I have to wait for stuff to clear in the bank and all that. So someone said I placed an order for over $50, but was being charged shipping. You say free shipping over $50. I don't think we have the free shipping thing anymore. So I'm not quite sure what you're saying. I don't think we have free shipping over $50 anymore. We have free shipping on certain items. So if you order a bunch of items and some of the items have free shipping and then the other ones don't, it defaults to not free shipping anymore, if that makes sense. But only some of the items has free shipping. The free shipping over $50 thing was only a one-time thing, and it's certainly not for the October mega boxes because that would chop into the profit, and there's not a tremendous amount of profit in those. If that makes sense. Someone said most states wouldn't even allow him on the ballot. I don't know who you're talking about. If you're talking, yeah, see, I missed it, so I'm not even going to try to guess what you're talking about. Someone said, Navy SEAL said, I placed an order for over $50. I don't know. God rides a Harley. Go to puretruthcoffee.com. It's right in the clearance section on the website right here. But I think with that one, we only have 3 or 4. If you click on the clearance section up at the top or on your mobile device, it's still there. Like, watch. Yeah, there's only 3X left. And I can order this print and print more of them because in all reality, I could probably do these shirts for $15 each and still make a couple of bucks. But these are the ones that I have in stock right now. So if you order it right now, it will ship tomorrow. You won't have any wait. And then, like I said, this morning, a bunch of you guys got coffee notices. If you're sending me emails about your September boxes, I'm no longer replying to those emails because, I mean, you're adults. You can read the post. And in almost all of my posts, let me say this again for people that don't get it. When you order a mega box, right, down here in the description, it has your ship date. Always. Like if you look up the August box, it's got it. September box, they have it. And mind you, if I'm late on it, I'll tell you, like during the live streams and stuff. And also with the coffee, if you order again the Firehouse blend, we don't send this out to you. We donate this for our Firehouse program. So if because a lot of people didn't read it, and it says it all over the place too. Like look, big bold letters at the bottom. So just keep that in mind if you be so kind. Navy SEAL said, I canceled the order. Sorry. You canceled what order? You just said you made a $150 order. So you didn't actually make a $150 order if you canceled it because you couldn't cancel without us canceling. Unless you charge back your card, which I don't suggest you do because you'll likely have a song made about you and me knocking on your front door. So, anywho. Someone said, I'm sad because I really wanted it RMD. No, you're not, because otherwise you'd do it. Yeah, otherwise you'd order and support us in what we're doing. So you're not sad, you're just trolling. But that's nice. I appreciate your troll. There's always there's always one. Right? What time is it? 9:26. So tonight, after this show on Citizen Stringer, we are showing the riots from September 12th, 2020. That is already queued up to go. 7 hours of riot footage. Now, I know as soon as I kick it on, there's a riot that we go to. Riot police are out right away. And then the latter part is the fires. I think tonight may have been the night that CJ was out in those wildfires, if you recall, from 2020 when they were arresting some of the Antifa and stuff like that out there. But that is what's going to air tonight. It starts right at 9:30. So I appreciate everybody that's been watching. I had a little thing set up here, so if people did super chats and all that during the show, we'd see it. Didn't work because nobody did the super chats, which is cool. If you are watching this on a replay later on YouTube, you're more than welcome to send the super thanks. We have those as well. Facebook stars, same thing. If you always check on your Facebook account during the chat thing, if you look down in the chat, there's a little star. Facebook tends to give away free stars sometimes, so you are more than welcome to send it. Navy SEAL Widow said, you threatening me. It was an order for over 150, but you were charging me shipping. That is the issue. Yeah, because you got to pay for fucking shipping. Just get rid of Navy SEAL. Just come on. And if you are a Navy SEAL Widow, I apologize. But, I apologize and I thank you for your sacrifice. But I'm not going to have this stuff in my chat. All right? I'm not going to. Anywho. Amendment 14 bans traders from holding office. Dummy. All right. Well, he's not a trader. So Rude Daily, year 2. YouTube mods. Come on, man. I shouldn't even see those damn comments. Just get rid of them. All right. Because I don't want to lock down the chat. So this is the way. Like, I want the YouTube mods. Like, if there's someone, especially if it's a new person that you're not really recognizing the name and they're just going in there spouting shit, just get rid of them, please. It does say free shipping on orders over 50. I'm shopping now. Where does it say that? Is it on a mobile device or on a web? Because it's not saying it on mine because we don't have it now. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, yeah, that's an old one. The code doesn't even work. So that's just on this website template. I'll fix that. So that's not there anymore. Someone, Gummo said, well, it was Navy SEAL Widow. And I'm not even criticizing that. If the $50 is going to break you on shipping, I don't know what to tell you. If it's quoting you $50 to ship, you're probably shipping it up to Canada or something like that, which means that it would cost me $50, which if you think about it, $5 profit per shirt, I'm going to lose all the money shipping it up there. So I didn't realize that still said it. The code was no good. But yeah. All right. Everyone on Citizen Stringer should have just switched over for you guys. So I appreciate you being there. And everyone on social media, I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to try to do the Wake Up America thing tomorrow morning. And go from there. Hold on. Now I'm trying to take this fucking thing off of the store. But it's so damn hard to do. Because it shouldn't say it. Right here. Bam. There you go. Safe. All right. Now I fixed that. But. Katniss said it's not $50 to ship. I know, but that's what they were saying. I'm hearing people talking. I'm going to leave the live stream off because I don't know who's... I wish I had a camera facing up front. I caught someone smoking fucking crystal meth outside the other day. And if you guys didn't know, I fucking hate drugs. I hate them really bad. So what I do now is I turn on my panic on my car. Can you hear that? Scare away all the fucking meth heads. Yeah, it's the new building. And I don't know why, but I told the landlord because I caught him once there, and I've seen other people park on the side. But yeah, someone said it ended fast on CS. Yeah, it's on a scheduler, so it automatically does it at 9:30 every night. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you watching. I will see you tomorrow. And everyone else, my YouTube mods and all that stuff. Yeah, it's zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. Let's just because we have viewers that like to chat with everybody that can't afford $3 a month or whatever it is. So I want a zero tolerance for people that are like, if you recognize the name, then, give them timeouts or second chances. If you don't recognize the name, just get rid of them. And let's clean up our chats. And, you guys, all the YouTube mods can focus on YouTube. April, I think you should be good on Facebook now. Same thing on Facebook. Just let's clean it up so we can do it, because I want to be able to interact with the chat during the show. And I'm not talking about someone that has a difference of opinion. You guys know what I'm talking about. I saw a couple of racist comments and stuff like that today. I don't want that shit in my chat. There's no place for that in America, let alone our chat. With that said, yeah, and you don't ban someone because you have a personal problem with them. Let's just make that perfectly clear too. Anyway, God Rides a Harley said you just ordered a t-shirt. Good. Hopefully you guys all do. Go to puretruthcoffee.com, buy a mega box, buy some coffee, buy whatever. I want to make a bunch of money over the next couple of weeks so I can get the coffee makers, get all the shirts. I'm opening that store even if it's fucking empty on October 1st, if not sooner. Like today, I was seriously like, I'm just going to start brewing coffee out of there. But I want a good experience. So I appreciate you. Now I'm all panicking into where they went, because they did. As soon as I hit that panic alarm, they ran. I saw like their feet as they were running away, but I don't know where they went. So now I'm going to go out with a gun and clear the whole fucking warehouse. Stupid. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Tomorrow I will be live. Hopefully I do a 10 o'clock thing for the Wake Up America. I'm not quite sure. But I will be doing that day in the life. So, because I got to go fix up the store because it's a mess from moving everything over here. The back of this place is a disaster and all that stuff. So we'll see you. First thing I'm going to do tomorrow morning is come in here and ship out all your shirt orders. So if you go to the clearance section and you order one of those shirts that's in stock, you will get a shipping notice tomorrow morning. Or it's free. How about that? Or it's free. If you order one of those shirts and you don't get a shipping notice tomorrow morning, it's a free shirt. I'll refund your money and send you the shirt. With that said, see you tomorrow.